You lose every time you react, not to the situation itself, but to your own lack of control in the face of it. How often have you let a comment ruin your mood? Let a glance shake your confidence? Let someone's opinion dictate your peace? The truth is brutal. What bothers you owns you. And that's the trap most people are caught in, living life emotionally hijacked by forces they don't understand and don't control. But here's the shift that rewrites everything. You can train your mind to act as if nothing bothers you, not because you're numb, but because you've risen above. What once triggered you becomes powerless. What once shattered you now sharpens your edge. Today, I'll hand you the mental discipline to develop an unshakable presence, to stop being emotionally reactive and start moving through life with calm power. If you're ready to take back your control and forge a mind that commands respect in silence, join this journey. This isn't motivation, it's mental reprogramming. Subscribe now and don't just watch, transform. You don't need fewer problems. You need fewer emotional leaks. Life will keep throwing chaos, setbacks, and critics at you. But your real weakness isn't the chaos, it's how quickly you let it inside. Indifference isn't apathy, it's precision. It's the conscious choice to reserve your energy for what actually matters. Most people react to everything as if it's life or death, a delay, rage, a rude comment, breakdown. This is mental slavery, being pulled by every emotional hook the world throws your way. Strategic indifference is the art of refusing to engage where your power is not needed. To build this mindset, you must destroy the illusion that everything deserves your attention. Most things don't. 95% of what triggers you today will mean nothing in a month, yet you spend hours, even years, bleeding energy into nonsense. You don't lack strength, you lack filtration. This principle is not passive, it is aggressive self-command. It says, I choose where my mind lives. You cannot control the storm, but you can train your mind to stop chasing every cloud. Indifference is the shield that protects your focus and multiplies your strength. Imagine walking into a room where chaos is unfolding, but your energy remains untouched. People notice, they feel your stillness. That's presence, and presence commands respect without noise. The less you react, the more control you have. The more control you have, the more power you own. This mindset is built, not gifted. You must rehearse non-reaction. Observe your impulses, interrupt them. Ask, is this worth my energy? If not, drop it. Let it die without your response. This is not weakness, it's strategic silence. It's war with irrelevance. Emotionally strong people don't feel less, they master more. Their strength isn't cold detachment. It's knowing that rage, panic, and desperation are energy leaks, not leadership. When you choose indifference, you don't become numb. You become unshakably focused. Now ask yourself, how much of your life has been drained by emotional distractions you never chose to fight? What could you build, who could you become if that energy was reclaimed and forged into something meaningful? The power of indifference isn't withdrawal, it's elevation. You are not reacting to life, you are reacting to your thoughts about life. External events don't define your state, your interpretation does, and interpretation is governed by thought. Every emotion, every decision, every result you get is filtered first through your mental blueprint. If your thoughts are undisciplined, your emotions will be chaotic. You'll chase validation, fear judgment, collapse under failure, not because events are fatal, but because you've wired your mind to panic. Mastery begins when you stop negotiating with thoughts that weaken you. Thought is creation. When you believe you're powerless, you act that way and confirm it. When you visualize strength, calm, dominance, your nervous system follows. Thought becomes action. Action becomes identity. Identity shapes destiny. Most people think passively. They react to thoughts as if they're facts. But thoughts are commands, and most of yours have been installed without consent. Media, trauma, repetition, these shape your inner narrative. To reclaim control, you must become the author. This is where deliberate thought training begins. Every morning you can repeat mental commands that rewire you. I am calm under pressure. I respond, I do not react. You are not lying to yourself, you're programming truth into your system. This is not affirmation fluff. This is psychological conditioning. Elite performers, soldiers, leaders, they train their thinking before the crisis arrives. When the world hits, they don't default to panic. They default to programmed certainty. A reactive mind is like a leaf in the wind, directionless, fragile, loud. A trained mind is the storm itself, centered, powerful, inevitable. Which one are you building? You don't become calm by wishing for peace. You become calm by commanding the chaos inside you. Every thought you tolerate plants a seed. The question is, do you want the forest that grows from it? Most people live in mental environments they never chose, but you can design yours. And if you don't, the world will do it for you. So take inventory. Which thoughts are robbing you of strength? Which beliefs do you replay that poison your clarity? The next level of your life will not be created by chance but by thought. And thought must be mastered like any other discipline. The moment someone tries to provoke you, they're testing your leadership over yourself. Most people fail that test instantly. They react, defend, explode, and in that reaction they hand over power, real dominance. It's staying unmoved when someone tries to move you. People don't expect silence. They expect chaos. When you respond with stillness, when you smile instead of striking, you break the pattern. You become the one in control, not just of the moment, but of the entire room. The one who stays calm defines the rhythm. That's why silence is so disruptive. It forces others to sit in their own discomfort. You've denied them the fuel they came for, and without your reaction, their fire dies. Here's the truth. Most attacks are emotional fishing hooks. They're bait. And the second you bite, anger, sarcasm, defense, you've been caught. Mastery is recognizing the hook and refusing to open your mouth. That's mental warfare. That's high-level awareness. Think like a chess player, not a boxer. Reacting is swinging wildly. Responding is moving one piece with intention. When provoked, slow time down. Ask, what gives me maximum leverage here, emotion or control? The answer is always the same. Example, someone mocks you publicly. Most flinch or strike back. But if you hold composure, they start unraveling. You become the enigma. You don't just win the moment, you train everyone watching that you are untouchable. This isn't suppression, it's transformation. You don't bury the emotion. You recannel it. That tension becomes fuel for your precision. Discipline is emotional redirection. You command your nervous system like a general leads an army, and that command is built through exposure. You can't avoid emotional provocation. You must face it and rehearse non-reaction until it becomes natural, like muscles under tension. Strength builds with resistance. Calm is not born. It's trained. So ask yourself, in conflict, are you the storm or the one the storm bends to? Each time you pause, observe, and choose silence over impulse, you strengthen your grip on power. Control is not won in the loud moments. It's forged in the ones you don't respond to. Mental strength isn't inherited. It's forged like steel under repeated pressure. The problem is most people only train their mind when chaos hits. But crisis doesn't build character, it reveals it. If you want to stay calm when it matters, you must rehearse calm when it doesn't. Reactivity is not a personality trait. It's a habit, and like any habit, it can be replaced. The process. Exposure, pause, redirection. Every time you catch yourself before reacting, you lay down a new neural path. That's rewiring in real time. Start with micro moments, the late email, the annoying comment, the urge to argue. These are your reps, don't waste them. Each one is a chance to train your nervous system to obey your higher mind. Discipline is the backbone of an unshakable mind. Not the rigid, joyless kind, but the empowering kind. Discipline that says, I don't answer every urge. I don't chase every emotion. This internal governance is what makes peace sustainable. Visualization accelerates the process. Picture yourself unbothered, poised, powerful in the exact situations that once unraveled you. Your mind can't distinguish imagined from real. Rehearsed stillness becomes instinctual stillness over time, but repetition is non-negotiable. A single calm day means nothing. Your nervous system responds to consistency. That's how panic becomes confidence. Not by hoping, but by showing your body again and again who's in charge. Journaling is a weapon here. Track your reactions, identify triggers, celebrate wins. Mental training is not abstract, it's data, and every reflection sharpens awareness. What gets measured gets mastered. Sleep, diet, breath, yes, they matter. A weak body feeds a weak mind. Physical energy is your mind's foundation. You cannot expect mental clarity running on depletion. Excellence begins in the basics. Protect your vessel. Finally, commit to this truth. No one is born unshakable. the ones who are bled for it mentally, emotionally, repetitively. If you want that kind of strength, you don't wish for it, you train for it, and the training begins today. If you need approval to feel worthy, you've already surrendered. Validation dependency is invisible slavery. It looks like politeness, but it's rooted in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. But here's the truth, no one's. Opinion defines your value. Validation is addictive because it mimics love, but it's counterfeit. Approval feels good because it temporarily soothes insecurity. The problem: it fades fast and you'll chase the next hit. And with every chase, you drift further from yourself. The more approval you seek, the more power you lose. You'll filter your words, shrink your presence, betray your truth, all to keep others comfortable. But here's the paradox: you are most respected when you stop needing to be liked. Freedom begins when you choose yourself loudly, quietly, unapologetically, not with arrogance, but with clarity. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. When that truth is rooted in you, no comment, no look, no silence can shake it. Most judgment isn't about you. It's projection. People see in you what they haven't resolved in themselves, and when you stop dancing for their comfort, they'll resist. Let them. Your growth will offend those committed to their smallness. To break this pattern, start by validating yourself daily. Track your wins, acknowledge your efforts, speak truth into your reflection. You don't need applause, you need alignment. Self-respect isn't earned from others, it's claimed from within. This doesn't mean isolation. It means discernment. Accept input from those who walk your path, not from bystanders shouting from the sidelines. Your journey is sacred. Guard it from shallow opinions and emotional noise. Train your mind to detach without hardening. You're not cold, you're focused. You don't respond to every whisper, you listen to your mission. The more grounded you are in purpose, the less room there is for approval addiction. Final reminder: not everyone will like you, and that's freedom. Let them misunderstand. Let them guess. While they worry about being liked, you'll be building a life that matters. Because true power isn't in being accepted. It's in no longer needing to be. Criticism is inevitable, but your reaction is optional. Most people treat every opinion as gospel. They internalize attacks, overanalyze comments, and let noise become narrative. But criticism is just data. You decide what enters your system and what gets deleted. Emotionally weak minds absorb before they assess. They assume every negative word must be true, but logic changes the game. The real question is, does this feedback come from someone qualified to judge your path? If not, discard it. There are two kinds of criticism: useful and useless. Useful criticism comes from people with experience, context, and care. It helps refine your craft, not crush your spirit. Useless criticism is noise rooted in envy, ignorance, or projection. Treat it as static. Logic is your filter. Pause before reacting. Ask, is this opinion aligned with my vision, values, or standards? If not, it's irrelevant. Responding emotionally to irrelevance is like watering weeds. It grows the wrong things. Imagine a sculptor working on his masterpiece. Some passersby applaud, others sneer, but he doesn't stop to argue. He keeps chiseling. Why? Because critics don't build. Builders don't get distracted. Stay focused on the sculpture, not the spectators. Emotional detachment isn't indifference, it's precision. You feel the hit, but you don't bleed from it. You hear the words, but you don't let them write your story. This isn't denial, it's strategy. It's refusing to give weight to what lacks value. Reputation is noisy. Results are quiet. The more you grow, the louder the noise gets, and the more vital it becomes to stay grounded in logic. If every opinion sways you, your mission dies in committee. Use criticism as a mirror, not a master. Look into it briefly. Take what sharpens you. Leave what poisons you. Your job isn't to please, it's to build. Let your results respond louder than any rebuttal you could craft. Final truth: you are not here to be understood by everyone. The stronger your voice, the more it will trigger the untrained ear. Let it. Critics don't need answers, they need silence. And your silence, when grounded in logic, becomes your loudest power. Pressure doesn't break you. It reveals the parts of you that were never trained. Most people crumble not because they're weak, but because they're unprepared. They expect ease, so when chaos comes, they freeze. Mental toughness is built before the storm, not during it. Stop being surprised by struggle. Expect resistance. Plan for setbacks. Pressure is not the enemy, unpreparedness is. The strongest minds rehearse difficulty. They visualize the worst. So they don't flinch when it shows up. Picture a warrior. He doesn't hope for peace. He trains for battle. He studies ambush, betrayal, fatigue. And because he anticipates pressure, it never controls him. The same applies to you. Stress loses power when it's already been mentally mapped. Emotions cloud judgment under pressure. Panic short circuits reason. That's why preparation includes emotional rehearsal. Breathe under stress. Practice stillness when urgency screams. When others react, you pause because your nervous system was trained, not shocked. Discipline is the infrastructure of composure. If your life lacks order, pressure will expose your gaps. Morning routines, physical training, boundaries, these aren't optional. They're load-bearing structures that hold you when life gets heavy. Strategic detachment is key. You cannot be present in chaos if you're obsessed with control. Let go of the illusion that things must go your way. Instead, anchor in who you are, not what happens. Pre-plan your responses. Ask, what will I do when pressure hits? Write it down, visualize it, speak it daily. In crisis, you won't rise to the level of your hopes, you'll fall to the level of your preparation. When the pressure rises, the room watches, and the one who remains calm becomes the leader. Not the loudest, not the smartest, the calmest. Because calm signals strength, and strength stabilizes everyone else. Final insight, pressure isn't personal, it's universal. You can't escape it, but you can dominate it. And when you do, the world feels it. Your silence becomes a fortress. Your breath becomes your sword, and your calm, unshakable. Suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from your refusal to let go of what you can't control. Attachment is invisible tension gripping expectations, outcomes, people. Detachment is the release that returns your power. Most people confuse detachment with apathy. They think letting go means not caring. False. Detachment means you care deeply but wisely. You act with intention, not desperation. You engage fully but without emotional dependence. Attachment is mental handcuffs. You obsess over how things should go. And when reality disagrees, you spiral. But reality isn't the problem, you're. Resistance is. Letting go doesn't weaken you. It liberates you to respond. Think of a river. It flows around obstacles. It doesn't demand they move. It adapts. That's power, not rigidity, but resilience. You are not meant to force life into shape. You are meant to flow with precision. Control what you can. Effort, attitude, presence. Release what you can't. Timing, opinions, outcomes. This shift is mental jujitsu. You stop wrestling the uncontrollable and start using its momentum to move forward. That's how warriors conserve energy. Detachment sharpens clarity. When you're no longer gripped by fear of loss, you see options. You hear intuition. You act without panic. Emotion narrows vision. Detachment widens it. In the silence of release, decisions become clean. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means giving up the illusion of control. You can love without clinging. Pursue without chasing. Commit without collapsing. This is maturity, the ability to hold something without being held by it. Practice detachment in the small things. Traffic, delays, change of plans. Pause, breathe, ask, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, it's not. Build that habit, and life stops pulling you in every direction. Final command, stop gripping shadows. Let go of what you can't shape. What's meant for you flows with alignment, not force, when your identity is no longer tied to what happens outside. Nothing can disturb your peace inside. Silence is not weakness, it's dominance under control. In a world addicted to noise, stillness unnerves. It forces people to confront their own thoughts, their own insecurity, and in that space you gain leverage without saying a word. Most people speak to validate themselves. They explain, justify, overtalk out of fear, but the powerful don't prove. They withhold. They let presence speak. The less you say, the more others project onto your silence, and that projection is controlled out in high-stakes situations. Silence shifts power dynamics, negotiations, conflicts, even casual conversations. Those who pause command the tempo, while others scramble to fill the gap. You watch, calculate, and strike only when needed. Precision beats volume. Silence exposes people. The more they talk, the more they reveal. You gather intel, patterns, weaknesses while remaining unread. To be mysterious is to be ungraspable, and what can't be grasped can't be controlled. Example, someone insults you, expecting reaction. Instead, you remain still, no rebuttal, no defense, just calm presence. They lose footing. Their words echo into a void. That void is your weapon. They fought a battle you never entered and lost. Silence is also emotional armor. When you're silent, you're composed. You give yourself space to breathe, think, and override instinct. You prevent unnecessary damage. In silence, there's no regret, only observation and strategy. But silence is not passive. It is discipline. It takes strength to withhold when ego demands expression. Every word unspoken is a choice to conserve energy, maintain frame, and let your actions speak with undeniable weight. Train this power deliberately. In arguments, stay quiet longer. In tension, delay response. Observe, let others fill the space. The more comfortable you get in silence, the more unstable the loud become around you. Final law, when you control your words, you control the room, not because you dominate through noise, but because you mastered the void. In silence, you are unreadable, and in unreadability, you become untouchable. Calm is not a mood, it's a system you build. It's the result of internal architecture, not lucky circumstances. Most people chase calm by trying to fix the world, but real calm begins when you take full command of your internal mechanics. Start with your breath. It's the remote control. To your nervous system, shallow breath fuels panic. Deep, intentional breathing tells your body, I'm safe, I'm in control. Master your breath, and you interrupt the chaos pattern instantly. Next, create rituals of stillness, silence. In the morning, a walk without noise, controlled solitude. These aren't escapes, they're recalibrations. You're not avoiding pressure. You're rehearsing how to stay centered when it hits. Calm is born from boundaries. Too much input breeds instability. Limit exposure to noise, to urgency, to people who thrive on drama. Every yes you give externally must not become a no to your peace. Train the pause reflex. In any trigger, install a gap. One breath, one thought. That gap is where composure lives. It's where reaction dies and response is born. Calm is not the absence of feeling, it's the presence of choice. Anchor your common purpose. When you know what you're building, distractions lose appeal. Minor slights don't touch you. Why? Because you're not here for noise. You're here to execute. Calm becomes a byproduct of direction. Monitor your inner dialogue. Panic begins in words unspoken. What if this fails? What will they think? Replace that script. Speak power back into yourself. I am built for this. My mind works under pressure. Say it until it becomes command. Fuel your body like a warrior. Calm cannot grow in a body starving for rest or overloaded with sugar, stimulants, and exhaustion. Train, sleep, hydrate. You are not just a mind, you are a system. Protect the system. Final truth. Calm is not gifted to the lucky. It is engineered by the disciplined. You will not find it by accident. You create it by habit. And once you own it, no chaos can enter without your permission. You are no longer just reacting, you are rebuilding. Every silence you held, every urge you overcame, every moment you chose control over chaos, it wasn't random. It was the forging of a new identity, not passive, not numb, but powerful in ways most will never understand. Because while others screamed to be heard, you became the storm they couldn't shake. You didn't just learn to stay calm, you became the calm in every room, and that kind of presence, it changes everything. This isn't about appearing unbothered, it's about being untouchable on the inside, a presence so trained, so disciplined, that life bends around your stillness. You are no longer a slave to emotion, you are the one who commands it. Let them wonder how you stay so focused. Let them guess why you never flinch. The answer is simple. You trained for this, and now the world adjusts to your frequency, not the other way around. If this message woke something up in you, if you felt that spark of power rising, don't let it fade. Drop into the comments and declare your new identity. Write, I am unshakable. Let that be your first act of control, to claim it, to own it, to reinforce it. If this video felt like a mental shift, it's because it was. And this channel is where transformation becomes discipline. So if you're serious about mastering your Mind, this is your next step. Subscribe now and keep building the inner force that no one can touch. Share this with someone who's tired of being emotionally hijacked and is ready to own their power in silence. Because remember, the loudest minds are easily disturbed, but those who forge calm, those who move in stillness, they don't just survive, they control the game.